Hello there and welcome to Bent TV. I'm Kunze. Tonight we'll be exploring the fascinatingly alluring and to some quite confusing world of drag kings and queens. We are very pleased to have on the show tonight the wonderful Adiva and also Chandon Moet, who are not only a couple but have been practicing the fascinating art of drag for some years now. Also on the show tonight we have Gino and Leo the Milky Bar Kid, who have graciously agreed to talk to us about the roles as drag kings. Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome and thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're all looking just splendid. I mean, the gowns, we have to talk about the gowns. The feathers, it is just wonderful. The flowers in the hair. What made you decide to wear those today, ladies?
Just weekend attire. Saturday night. Bit of the bling and.
So not necessarily for lazing around the house in, but
no, of course.
I'm sure. Fantastic. Okay. What's it like being in a relationship and both practicing the art of drag? How do you find that?
I find it fun. Like, we just bounce off each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we never really have any tiffs. He has his style, I have mine.
Mm-hmm.
It makes rehearsal time a lot easier.
I'm sure it does.
Get together and work out the numbers and work out costumes and hair, and so yeah, it works out well.
Yeah.
So are there any fights over mirror space or outfits or anything like that? Like, do you find there's a little bit of a conflict of interest there with both of you fighting for time on the mirror, etc.?
We do share the mirror sometimes.
Though we do have two bathrooms.
Yeah, so that helps a lot.
Easier.
That would help a lot. Okay. And how do you decide what shoes and wigs and accessories to wear? Is that a situational thing, or is it just whatever the mood takes at the time?
It really depends on the evening we're out on.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the venue, what the theme for the evening is,
Mm-hmm.
and what, if we're performing, what numbers we're doing, easy costume changes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, do you consider drag to be a form of theatre, as in the performance aspect of it? So, you know, I mean, more or less, the world is your stage. So, I mean, how do you all feel about, you know, the role that your drag personas play in your lives?
Well, for me, it gives me more confidence. Gives me a chance to be another person for a night, once a week or two, and just to let that inner man out, so to speak, and vice versa for the opposite, I'm presuming.
It'd be very liberating, wouldn't it, to be able to have a whole new persona that you can just adopt, you know, at will. And I suppose there would be a lot of situations where that would actually help to deal with certain issues that might actually come up.
Yeah, it definitely helps with, for me personally, the confidence. Before I started doing drag, I was very shy and timid. Since I've become Gino, I feel that little bit extra tough, so to speak. Yeah, pretty much.
Do you find the same, Leo? Does that sort of work the same for you, or is it more sort of a different motivation for you?
To be honest, I find it a great way to meet girls. It's a great way to pick up chicks. I mean, when you hit that stage and you're in the zone, and after you finish and go off and grab a drink or something, all these girls come over and they're like, oh, you know, you're so good on stage and stuff like that, and it's just a really good way of, you know, getting in there and, meeting new friends and meeting new lady acquaintances and whatnot. So yeah.
True. Very good. So what about public perception? I mean, how do other people react to you? Do you love educating the public, on your motivation? Do you find that they're, just particularly, strange and awkward people that you really want to set straight, It's like, belt them over the head with a stiletto or something. How do you deal with that?
Well, I find that the perception in public is a lot better than it once was.
Yeah, it has got a lot better.
The people are going to the clubs to see the performances rather than going to the clubs to drink and then fight. And at least with gay venues, it is a calmer place to be.
And it's not just for the gay and lesbian community. Like, we get, like, the clubs that we go to, there's like hens parties, there's straight couples going there, like friends of friends. People are just going out wanting a good time, like, and they get a show, and yeah, no, it's good.
So it's that real theatrical aspect, and you know, it's just your way of, you know, sort of showing, you know, that inner woman, I suppose, and for you too as well, the inner man, and you know, just challenging the public perceptions, you know, of you know this is the way this is done, this is the way that is done. You know, it's really sort of, you know, thinking outside the box, I suppose, and yeah,
well,
terrific.
Drag allows that too, because you go to see a theatre show and there's the fourth wall, so this crumbles that fourth wall, and the audience are part of the performance.
Terrific, great. So when people react in a negative way to you, does it bother you at all, or have you sort of learned to rise above it and just sort of take it in your stride?
Not really, because I like the idea of educating people. So if someone was, you know, to yell out, you know, you're a freak, or, you know, what are you doing, you know, or just cursive words, or are we allowed to say derogatory terms? In content.
Quotation marks, yeah.
Yeah, quotation marks. Well, whenever, you know, someone might go like, oh, you know, dark, whatever, I'm just thinking, well, one, you're stating the obvious of who I'm presenting myself to be, but why would you actually say that, you know? And I would question the person's motive just to educate them and say, well, you know, it's fine to have your opinion, but let me share mine and let me educate you in the way that, you know, I do my thing and the way I present myself.
Okay, terrific. So it's really challenging the public perceptions, and just, you know, trying to teach people not to judge others, you know, specifically on looks, and that's not just for you guys either. That's, you know, race, creed, whatever. So it does teach very valuable lessons. That's brilliant. So any funny stories, you know, while in transit, you know, wigs stuck in sunroofs or anything like that?
The other night, coming home from a club or going to another club, we were pulled over on the side of the road by a hens group wanting photographs with us while they were on the way to the Austin hospital with the young lady in the back that was alcohol poisoning.
Taking it into hospital, but it was
Oh, terrific.
It was more important to call into a 7-Eleven just for that one photo. So, yeah.
That would have been worth a photo, I'm sure. Thank you so much. We'll take a short break. Please join us again for Demystifying Drag. Hello again and welcome back to Bent TV. I'm Kunze and we're talking about demystifying drag. Now, what I wanted to ask you, lovely ladies and gents, was have any of you performed in the past? Have you done any theatre or any stand-up comedy or acting or anything like that?
Yes, 16 years of live theatre in both amateur and professional work throughout Australia, New Zealand, USA. So,
oh, terrific!
Drag's just the next step. It needed to be done.
So this is more the theatre of life.
That's right, the theatre of life, and being able to interact with the audience more and not have that, like I was saying before, the fourth wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not have that constant scripted work, doing the same role night after night, show after show. This way you can be. So
you're more in control. You know, you decide the direction of the...
On the spot, I write the script.
What about you, Adiva? Have you done any performing before?
No, my last performance, other than drag, would be like playing Lady Jane, the pirate in grade 6 performance. So that's terrific. As far as mine's gone.
Maybe that's where it all started.
Well, that's it. I always had to play that girl.
I recently did Sandra D. I was very, very proud of that. Gino, what about you?
Probably the same. Primary school drama classes. Nothing since then.
Leo?
Yeah. I did a production when I was in high school, but besides that, nothing. So yeah, it kind of just developed when I started performing this theatrical kind of side of everything. So yeah.
Well, every time you adopt this persona, you are performing in a way.
Yeah.
All of you. Yeah. Terrific. So let's talk fashion advice. wigs, outfits, that sort of thing. Like, I mean, how do you decide what looks good together? You know, what clashes? Like, what actually, probably more directed to the two ladies, because you guys pretty much just put on a jeans and a t-shirt and you're done.
Probably being like a drag queen, like you do have to get your colours right, but you could be going out and bold different colours, and you know it's all part of the outfit, all part of the image. Like you know, you don't have to like mix and match. Like you could just go out in anything basically. Like, but
the old adage, blue and green should never be seen unless there's something in between.
Yeah.
An oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one that I live by.
Oh yeah.
And also never wear a brown belt if you have black shoes, or vice versa. Something I keep telling my partner.
Yeah.
It's getting through slowly. So things to avoid. So pet hates like muffin tops and that sort of thing. I mean, what really irks you guys?
Camel toes, moose knuckles,
And pulling your pants up, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Sick
one
of
where
seeing
they
the butt cheeks, unless they're good looking, but usually they're not.
No, it's always the wrong kind of person that does that, isn't it?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other pet peeves?
Well, will have to be, a lot of drag kings are perceived to wear the typical jeans and t-shirt, and I know I'm wearing typical jeans and t-shirt today.
As a happy coincidence.
But when performing, I try and pick outfits to suit the numbers. For example, when I do my Michael Jackson numbers, I get the sparkly jacket out, the hat, the glove. When I do some old school stuff, Ghostbusters, get the overalls and afro going, sort of like comic, to jazz it up a bit. So it's not just about the jeans and the t-shirt, which you would normally see commonly when drag kings perform, but some of us do try harder to step up the bar and look as gorgeous as these lovely ladies.
The accessories that go along.
Yeah, the accessories.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, I suppose that's where the girls are probably, or the girls are probably a bit more lucky, you know, that they do have a lot more scope for accessorising and that sort of thing as well. So we mentioned pants and half masks and that sort of thing, but obviously, you know, there's I mean, yeah, we've all got our pet peeves, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit, Gino, about you know, how you decide to wear what to wear on stage. So is it more actually fitting the outfit to the performance, or like how do you decide that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you would have to suit the outfit to the performance to give more of a visual, as not only just listening to this music, but yeah. For example, when I do Michael Jackson, I wear the glittery jacket, the glove, the sparkly hat, and Ghostbusters, I'd wear overalls and a big afro hat, and sort of just basically old school camp it up. So it's looks just as good as when the beautiful ladies are on stage as well, just to not the typical jeans and a t-shirt. Like we wear this between the performances, but we like to dress up as well when we're actually performing.
Everyday casual clothes. So, yeah, so
well, let's face it, I mean, you know, the boys, I suppose, don't have the scope for accessorising that the girls have with the boas and the earrings and flowers in the hair and all that sort of thing. But, I mean, you must have just buckets and buckets and wardrobes full of all this stuff that you can just...
The entire spare bedroom is wigs, hair, odds and ends, bags.
It also helps that we sew most of our own outfits anyway, and we style our own wigs, and so all that helps.
Right.
Yeah, for the shows. And
so there's a lot of you in what you're wearing. Not only is it an outer manifestation of you know, of that side of your personalities, but it's tailored to, you know, exactly your tastes and your colour choices and that sort of thing as well. So yeah.
Well, there's a lot of time and effort that goes in. Like before we pack the bag, you know, we've got to make sure we've got our boobs packed, we've got our shoes, we've got the makeup, like spirit gum, false eyelashes in case we lose one. Yeah, so it takes a good hour just to pack the bag.
So you really need to plan for all contingencies, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep.
What happens if a heel breaks, or you know, if you rip your skirt? Like, you know, is it like, you know, action stations? You know, do you rush to the car and get busy with a needle and thread, or
Rip at the skirt, just cut it off, and it's shorter. And
we normally have the cotton and the thread handy in the handbag, so
yeah,
or the super glue, so whichever.
gaffer tape.
Yeah.
Works one.
nail gun, right? Okay. So let's talk race course fashion. What what advice would you have for the lovely ladies that go to, like, you know, Spring Carnival and Oaks Day and that sort of thing? We've seen some of the fashions, and I mean, am I wrong in assuming that some of them are maybe just not that practical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Heels on grass with a pointy heel on the end, wrong.
Yeah, don't do stilettos at the Cub.
I would have thought common sense would have dictated that, but apparently not. What about hats? I mean, you know, do you have any favourite milliners or, you know, any styles of hats?
Well, there's one great milliner we know, Creative Feathers.
Yeah.
She does great.
Yeah,
great
she
headpieces.
does amazing work.
Fantastic.
Plug.
And it all... We'll skate on by that one. And, you know, so this, I mean, the common theme throughout this whole thing is that this, as I said just before, this is the outer manifestation of who you are inside. And we'll explore that in a little bit more depth when we come back. Please stay with us for Demystifying Drag. Hello and welcome back to Bent TV. I'm Kunze, and we are at the moment in the middle of Demystifying Drag. So there's a question that I've been wanting to ask you lovely people. And when I say you lovely people, I mean Leo and Gino.
That's right.
Similar to the way that the girls have to do the tucking of the boys, do you find that, so to subtract from the outfit, do you find that you feel the need to add to the outfit in that area? For realism?
Yeah, to be honest, it is, and it's nice to have that there and kind of just bounce off the fact that, you know, it completes the persona of, you know, who you're being. So you walk up to someone and they might see that there's a little, you know, thing popping out.
Is that a gun in your pocket?
Yeah. No, it's really funny because a lot of guys come up to me and they're like, "Oh, you're attractive. If I was straight, I would kiss you. You know, I would make love to you." And I'm just like, "All right, that's fine. I would be happy to, you know, participate. It's just I don't have the
correct
proper,
equipment."
Yeah, the proper attire. So.
Do you actually, has that thought crossed your mind, or do you is it not about being anatomically correct? You know,
Well,
you suffer from the Ken syndrome. You know.
well, I've never actually tried it. The problem with me being on the larger side, even if I did, you probably wouldn't be able to see it because I like to have my t-shirts longer.
Sure.
But with regards to actually strapping the breasts down, I tend not to because I find it after a few performances it's actually hard to breathe, and when people do ask me, how come you don't strap down, I'm like, well, I'm a big boy, I've got man boobs, so to speak. So I don't really bother with the packing or the strapping at the moment. And
I'm proud, baby, in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, and another thing that I've always wondered is, I mean, generally, I suppose lesbians don't really like men for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I think men are fantastic, but, you know, that's just me. So if you're actually adopting a male persona, does that mean that lesbians do tend, not to single them out for any other reason, but just the plain curiosity of how they would treat you because you do dress as a man?
The first time that I was a drag king, I didn't understand why I was attracted to it.
Okay.
And then when I started performing as a drag king and getting this attention from women, I was just thinking, you know, how is this, how does it work? And it's just a really confusing thing. I still don't understand why a woman would, you know, find this appealing. But, you know, whenever I see, well, I'm not going to sound vain, but whenever I see myself or you know, Gino up on the stage, I'm like, oh yeah, we're hot.
You're rocking it out.
We're rocking it. Of course, you would want to, you know, of course you would want a piece of us, you know. Of course.
Not so law conceited.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gino?
Well, for me, the thing is, I have had a few ladies sort of ask me out, and the problem is that I'm actually straight. So when I say I'm actually straight, they sort of, oh yeah, no, whatever. I'm like, no, I am. They go, oh, if you don't want to go out with me, just say so. I'm like, no, here's a photo of me and my boyfriend. I am straight. And they say, oh, sorry, and all that. So it's a bit funny sometimes.
And so you just spoke of your boyfriend. So he's supportive of you being Gino as well?
Yeah, the first night we actually met, he saw me perform and all that, and yeah, he doesn't mind me doing it, and he's happy because I enjoy it, and he knows that when I do gigs, I get paid for it. Like me and Leo are currently working a Heaven store, so extra income. He's happy that sort of thing like that. But yeah, he doesn't mind it. Like, he wouldn't go out with me because he's happy with me doing it. But he sort of, like, if I'm saying goodbye when I'm in my get-up, he won't give me a kiss or anything because he's like, okay, that's where I draw the line.
Kind of like kissing another dude, yeah.
Yeah, because he's also 100% straight as well, so...
Oh, I hope so.
Oh.
So, ladies, what do you think is at the heart of the reason that you adopt the female personas of Adiva and Chandon?
I just like the glam of it all. I just like dressing up, doing the wigs, the makeup, and like the attention's great. It's like what the guy said. You get the loons trying to grab you and stuff like that. But to us, it's just fun. Like, we just do it for fun. So,
and it's just like I was saying before, the extension of those years in theatre that I've had. This is a more challenging role because you've got to think on your feet. You've got loons around. You've got straight women. You've got the works, and like the straight women always hate us because our legs look better than theirs. And we can wear heels better than they can.
Well, just quietly, I did actually look at your legs on the monitor before, and I've got to say, I do approve. Yes.
Thanks,
But does it fulfill, a particular emotional need for you, or is it simply the performance aspect and being somebody else? And that's directed to all of you.
I just do it for fun.
Okay.
Same.
It's the fun of it.
I do it for fun too, but what Gino said before, it does make you come out of your shell. I find that the same. Like, not that I was shy to start with, but when
not at all.
You could go out as a guy and no one will have a bar of you, but you put a pair of heels on a wigs and they're like photos. It's just the difference between it. Yeah.
That is such an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? Yeah. Because at the clubs, everybody is falling all over the drag queens because
and we love it.
It's such it's such a fantastic persona to adopt, and it just seems to be looked up to, and you're really revered. And I think the broader community should take a leaf out of our book, and take it for what it is. It's a bit of fun. It's doing something that you enjoy. It's adopting another persona, another role, and it's just really an exciting way to challenge perceptions, I think.
Yeah, well, it's part of our life, like as a couple, so... Yeah.
It's definitely a lifestyle thing, for sure, yeah. And would you guys say that is a similar thing for you? There's a fun aspect, but it certainly has ensconced itself into your lifestyle?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. Like, originally it started out pretty much as a dare to do it, so I did it with the competition that came up. After that's where I met Leo. After that come to Neverwhere, and it just been asked to do gigs here and there, and it's just really downright fun, basically.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I did it, I was just like, no, just do it and say, that's on my bucket list of things that I've done. And then for some reason I kept going back, and I kept going and going and going, and it was like an Energizer bunny. I would just keep going back every Sunday when Neverwhere had an event called All Drilled Up and Nowhere to Go. That's how we met, Gino and I. And it was just going there and continuously, doing it was just so much fun. And now actually I'm here. So
fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Well, my, we certainly have learned a lot about drag tonight. I hope you found it as informative and as interesting as I did. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honour and a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much. You have been watching Demystifying Drag on Bent TV. Good night.